How could you do this to us?
We trusted you!
They buried my father on a rainy Thursday, and by Sunday my family had already started fighting over his money. But what they didn't know was this: my father had planned everything, and by the time they realized it was already too late. My name is Daniel. I'm the last child of 4 siblings. Growing up, we weren't rich, but we were comfortable. My father owned a chain of small supermarkets across the city. Nothing flashy, but enough to give us a good life. Or at least, that's what I thought. Because behind closed doors, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. My older brother, Victor, was the golden child. He worked closely with my dad and always acted like he was next in line. My sister, Clara, barely visited unless she needed money. And then there was Michael, quiet, observant, the kind of person you never really understood. As for me, I was just there, invisible, until the day everything changed. The call came at 2:13 a.m.
I can't believe this is happening. What do I do now?
Your father is gone. Just like that. No warning. No goodbye. By morning, the house was filled with relatives, fake tears, and whispered conversations. Everyone was pretending to grieve, but I could already see it. The tension, the greed, the calculation. Victor was already making calls about the business. Clara was asking questions about bank accounts. And Michael, he just watched, like he knew something the rest of us didn't. The funeral was grand. Too grand. People came from everywhere: business partners, distant relatives, even people I had never seen before. Everyone had something to say about my father, but none of them really knew him. Not like I did, because the truth is my father had changed in the last year. He became distant, secretive. He started making strange phone calls late at night, and once I heard him say something that stuck with me: if they choose greed, they'll lose everything. At the time, I didn't understand, but now, it made perfect sense. 3 days after the burial, we gathered in his office. The lawyer sat across from us, holding a thick envelope. This is Mr. Acker's final will and testament. Victor leaned forward confidently. Clara crossed her arms, impatient. Michael remained silent. And me, my heart was racing. The lawyer began reading. To my eldest son, Victor, I leave my experience. Victor frowned. What does that mean? The lawyer continued. To my daughter, Clara, I leave my lessons. Clara scoffed. Is this a joke? The room grew tense. Then came Michael's turn. To my son, Michael, I leave my trust. Michael didn't react. And then, to my youngest son, Daniel, the room went completely silent. I leave everything. Everything. The houses, the businesses, the accounts, all of it. To me, Victor
Manipulated him!
This is nonsense. He manipulated him. Clara stood up. There's no way. He never even liked you. Even Michael looked surprised. But the lawyer wasn't done. There is one condition. Of course there was. Daniel must live in the family house for 30 days before gaining full access to the inheritance. Victor laughed bitterly. Good luck with that. Clara shook her head. This isn't over. And just like that, the war began. That night, I moved into the house. Alone. Or at least I thought I was. The first few days were quiet. Too quiet. Then strange things started happening. Doors opening on their own. Lights flickering. Footsteps when no one was there. At first, I thought it was grief. Stress. But then, I found something. A hidden drawer in my father's study. Inside it, documents, recordings, evidence. My father had been watching us. Recording conversations. Tracking transactions. He knew everything. Victor had been stealing from the business. Clara had been taking secret loans using family assets. And Michael had been planning something much worse. On the 18th night, Michael showed up. Uninvited. You found it, didn't you? He said calmly. I froze. What are you talking about? He smiled. Father's little test. My heart dropped. You knew. Michael nodded. He told me everything before he died. What? He knew they would betray him. He just needed proof. I felt sick. And me. Michael looked at me carefully. He wanted to see if you would stay or run. The next day, everything exploded. Victor tried to force his way into the house. Clara brought a lawyer to challenge the will. But they didn't know I had everything. The recordings, the documents, the truth. And when I played those recordings, their faces changed. From anger to fear, to silence. Because now they weren't just greedy. They were exposed. 30 days later, the house was mine. The business was mine. Everything was mine. But the family, gone, broken, destroyed. And as I sat in my father's chair, I finally understood.
If they choose greed,
If they
will
choose
lose
greed,
everything.
they'll lose everything. And they did. But the real question is, did I win? Or did I just become the last piece of his plan? Because sometimes the biggest betrayal isn't what they did after death. It's what was already happening before it.